So recently we talked about a little bit of a kind of warning that a lot of VTubers were sending out regarding TwitchCon. Now, if you don't know, TwitchCon is currently going on at the moment. I think it might be the last day or maybe the last like 2 days by the time this video comes out. But essentially, yeah, a lot of VTubers were very quick to put out some kind of rules and some kind of stories of their own to warn people about the dangers of what goes on over there. Because again, a lot of the time security isn't that great. And well, you know, a lot of VTubers have found themselves in some pretty awkward situations with them getting harassed, followed around, or just having some very creepy interactions. Now, obviously, you know, some people like Ricky here was sharing experiences of being spiked. Megalodon was talking about the fact of, you know, don't follow me after we kind of talk to each other, which again is totally valid and is 100% true. We didn't cover this one, but this is one from OBKTCat as well, saying just a couple of rules and thingies for anybody that sees me at TwitchCon. So please come and say hi. I want to meet you. Ask before taking any photos. Even if I'm wearing a mask, please put a emoji of the face. Don't give me food or drink as a gift because I cannot accept it. Don't touch me without asking. Keep in mind, I'm very likely to offer a hug if you ask nicely, or I'm comfy that I'm autistic and have social anxiety. So if I dip or I'm super quiet, it's probably because I'm overwhelmed. So thanks for respecting these. But all of these kind of different warnings that people have been putting out, especially these VTubers have been putting out, right, was kind of like a precursor to what happened recently over at TwitchCon, literally today. This was the clip that has been trending. You guys have probably seen this, to be honest, and it's a pretty scary one. Essentially, if you don't know, Emaru, one of the top kind of female streamers over on Twitch, was doing a meet and greet over at TwitchCon, and again, you can see there she was signing somebody's stuff. And this is the entire clip. Some guy comes over and yeah, kind of touches her like inappropriately. And again, I don't exactly know what he does in that exchange, like up close or anything. But as you can tell, she is very uncomfortable with it and kind of like, you know, quickly tries to get back because, you know, he straight up assaulted her. Like you can 100% see that. And, you know, the Twitch staff come over literally way too late. I mean, you know, this guy had way too much time, especially with him walking over and they don't know who this guy is. They managed to let him in and approach her, right? And again, it took like a couple of seconds, like 3-4 seconds, for this guy to come over and eventually push him away, which obviously shows you how terrible the security has been over at TwitchCon. And this can happen to anybody, you know, it's not just Emaru. This can happen to literally anybody. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if another case was like this was to come up in this TwitchCon, right? And it's terrible. It's terrible to see that this has happened. And obviously, I'm sure Emaru is probably pretty shaken up by it. And, you know, a lot of friends and stuff have been talking about it over on Twitter and just essentially addressing it because, again, there's a lot of different things that have been flying around recently, including obviously people extremely mad at Twitch for how they have handled this, because if you don't know, there's also some precursors to a lot of this situation. Essentially, Emaru used to have a bodyguard who, you know, went around TwitchCon and other cons as well with her and was her preferred bodyguard because, again, he was great. You know, he would step in at the right times, do the right thing. And one time, apparently, he obviously followed, not followed, some guy was following her and he held them there and essentially waited for the other security to go ahead and arrive. And then he got banned from TwitchCon because he was, you know, obviously putting his hands on him, even though he was doing his job, which was pretty insane. And so obviously he was not allowed to come to this one event, which is something that a lot of people have been talking about and saying that, you know, they should have been, they shouldn't have been banned in the first place. And that maybe if she had, you know, her preferred kind of security there, then potentially this could have been, you know, stopped. And the same goes for the Twitch staff as well. If the Twitch staff were doing better over at these events, then maybe this could have been stopped too. Not only just the security guard there, obviously he did step in, you know, somewhat quickly, but again, it's just not quick enough, you know, but also just like the security of people being able to get around to this kind of area. Because it's obvious that he didn't come through the line or anything. He wasn't kind of being seen. He wasn't, you know, having the meet and greet. He actually just came in from the side and just walked straight in and did that and then left. And the worst part is as well, that it doesn't seem like he has faced any repercussions legally for this so far, at least as far as we know, because Twitch obviously banned him. They banned him from the place, but they never mentioned anything about talking. You know, they talked a little bit about law enforcement, but they never said like he was arrested or anything like this in their response here, saying the safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday involving a high-profile streamer was completely unacceptable and deeply upsetting. They said, in line with existing TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement and event security were on site and responded to the incident. So they're saying that law enforcement did respond to the incident, but it seems like, you know, we haven't really had any update in terms of, this guy's been arrested or whatever. It seems like he was literally just kicked out of the event and that was it. They said they were banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. So they have his, obviously, his badge with his username on it, so they're able to ban him from the platform. But again, why can't we see who this guy is and what they are? It'd be very interesting to see who they are. I'm sure it will come out eventually, right? And obviously, yeah, they say they've banned him from in-person events and online, but they never say that he's been arrested or he's had like charges pressed against him for this, because he did assault her. It's very obvious. He literally went up to her, grabbed her, and yeah, it's not it's not a great thing to kind of watch, right? They continue to operate with any law enforcement investigations. So yeah, again, it seems like they're gonna cooperate with any investigations, but they haven't even triggered the investigation in the first place, right? They said we've increased security at the meet and greet attendee check-in point. So again, a lot of other people doing meet and greets are going to be deathly scared of, going there now at the chance that someone could obviously go up to them and do something like this. It's just very scary. And there's even other clips as well that have come out of Emeru talking about the meet and greet section. Apparently, it was something that she didn't even really want to do in the first place. It was something that she had to do in order for her event, like live stage event, which she also has going on, to essentially stay afloat, to essentially, continue doing that. She has to do the meet and greet as well. And obviously that is extremely poor from Twitch too, that, obviously she was forced into doing that, right? Unless she didn't want to do so. Obviously she wasn't like forced in the sense of like, you have to do this meet and greet no matter what. Obviously she could just not go to TwitchCon, but in regards to actually doing the show, she made it seem like it was either, you do the meet and greet or you don't get your show, which, yeah, obviously would be extremely disappointing. So again, being kind of attacked like that, without even really wanting to be there in the first place is pretty insane, right? Many people have been talking about this, including like Asmongold saying, I think this will be / should be the last year of TwitchCon. Tectone saying this is even worse than Emmy had an amazing security guard for the prior year, and they had actively prevented an instance from this happening already. Twitch banned him from TwitchCon forever for doing his job. This fault rests on Dan Clancy's head. Shut down TwitchCon. You are not safe there. I tried to warn everyone. This happened in the first 3 hours of the event. Do not stick around. So, yeah, obviously a lot of people are outraged by what has happened, especially towards Twitch, because obviously, yes, the guy is 100% at fault for doing this, but I think Twitch is also at a massive, massive fault for even allowing him to manage to get into that position, and for the security being so terrible. And the same, goes for, the banning of that other security guard that could have potentially prevented this. Now, I'm not going to act like, maybe this guy is like the most perfect security guard ever, and he would have stopped it in an instant, right? But at least there would have been, the preferred person there who, from what I've seen during streams, is a much better person and a much better when I say person, a much better security guard than obviously a lot of these people. I don't even know if these are our personal ones. It seems like these are TwitchCon or like Twitch kind of staff here that are kind of pushing them away. So I'm unsure on whether she was allowed to have like her personal security there, because I know she did have security that came with her. But again, I don't know if that's them or if that is obviously just Twitch stuff. So again, I think in a lot of meet and greets, you should 100% have personal security, just at least standing behind you or something, just kind of keeping a watch, because this is one of the kind of moments that, this can really happen. Like, whether it's some guy walking across like this, or if it is, someone actually meeting up, again, there is so many dangers in that there should be more done in terms of security. And yeah, I do think that TwitchCon is becoming a massive mess from a lot of the kind of situations with VTubers and stuff being harassed, which we've talked about, obviously, but also the fact of like, there's like, for example, like the Asmongold and Hassan stuff about them not coming because they're scared that potentially something really terrible could happen there if they do end up going, right? I think it is terrible, and it is time to kind of pack it up. I think honestly, TwitchCon has had its run, but I just don't think it should be around anymore. It's like, obviously it's a place for a lot of parasocials to go to, and it is pretty much a breeding ground to have these people kind of do this stuff, right? Like, let's be real. Obviously, most Twitch viewers, like 99.9% of Twitch viewers, are normal people who enjoy streams, right? And that is 99.9% of the con as well. But you got to remember that there's a lot of people who are extremely parasocial and things like that as well, who will also attend these events for completely different motives than, you know, a lot of the normal people attending. So yeah, as I said, this was kind of a precursor, you know, to a lot of the stuff that is, you know, VTubers and many other creators were saying about respecting their boundaries, and, you know, some of their previous issues over at TwitchCon. They've spoken out about this, and it seems like this incident obviously has created another scary kind of encounter for, you know, more streamers to worry about, especially going to TwitchCon. So it's going to be interesting to see if this continues and whether they continue TwitchCon or not. But hey, obviously I'll keep you guys up to date if there's anything else on this situation. I kind of wanted to cover it because, again, it was a pretty shocking thing to see. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.